Welcome, my digital pathology trailblazers. I think we are live everywhere, even on Instagram. Let me know that you're here. Today we have a guest. First, let me know you're here and where you are dialing in from. Second, let me know if you can hear me well, because my streaming software is giving me trouble with the camera that I usually have on my computer. I mean, I should have a good one and a good microphone. And we have a special guest that I have to bring in here. So bear with. There she is.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Perfect. Yes. So
Awesome.
let's welcome her. This is Histo Queen of Hearts. Caitlin, welcome to the stream. And we have people. Do you see the comment when I show them on the screen?
Yes.
Jason from Baltimore is here. Fantastic. I always welcome my digital pathology trailblazers and let them know to send me a comment where they are dialing in from. So a quick intro to why I have you, Kate, on the show. And we want to be live on Instagram, right? I'm going to ask my team if we are actually live on Instagram, on both Instagrams. And all the trailblazers who made it on time here, please bear with us as we figure out the tech. Quick message to Team Digital Pathology, please. Okay. Kate, so you've been creating beautiful micro photographs of animal histology. And I'm going to let you introduce yourself. But basically, with those beautiful images, you have gathered an audience of over 50,000 people. So first of all, congratulations. And in my world, taking digital images of tissue and sharing them online is being a digital pathology trailblazer. So thank you so much for that as well. And let's start with you. Can you tell other digital pathology trailblazers a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Histo Queen of Hearts, and I started my Instagram account back in 2018. I've been sharing my life in the laboratory there, from gross pictures to the microscopy images, basically daily life in the lab and what it's like just to be a histotech. I noticed that Instagram had a lot of pathologists, and I think the pathologists are fantastic and we absolutely need them. But I thought it would be interesting to give a little bit of a technician's perspective, per se, and more of like the dirty work that's done in the lab and how we get the slides to the doctors.
And I have your Instagram account on the screen right now. Whoever is not familiar with Histo Queen of Hearts, go check her out on Instagram, because here's our picture. In the middle is our. So this is what she's photographing. This is the perspective of a histotech. I think I joined you on this Instagram journey when this was the main content of your account, meaning those beautiful pictures, super graphically arranged and beautiful. But what is it? What are you actually photographing there?
So, all of what I'm photographing right now is all veterinary samples. It's all from animals. I try to do different types of animals, so not just dogs and cats. Recently, I did post some scorpion hemolymph that was really cool. But yeah, as far as like on my main page with the images that I post directly to the account, I like to keep it just the microscopy stuff.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, let's talk about your credentials, because you are a certified histotechnician. So you could work in both an human pathology lab but you are working in the veterinary pathology lab, which is something that we have in common because I'm a veterinary pathologist. How did you end up in a veterinary pathology lab? Did you know when you were learning to become a histotech that this would be an option, that would be something that you would be interested in, or how did you end up there?
So I kind of ended up there on accident. I did start my career working in human pathology. I only did that for about a year, primarily,
Really?
primarily in school. We did mostly talk about human stuff, regular pathology labs, Mohs labs, things like that, with very little about veterinary or research even. But I kind of just stumbled into it. I always loved animals. I wanted to work with animals when I was little. Um, but yeah, I was just looking for a new job, and I saw a job posting for IDEX Laboratories, which is a very big veterinary facility. So that
Hmm.
was where I got my start in pathology, veterinary pathology. And I don't think I'll ever leave. I think I will forever be in veterinary pathology. There's so much you can learn. There's endless, different species, tissue types, things that you can learn about. Like you're learning every single day. So, yeah, that's how I ended up in veterinary path.
That is amazing. So recently I was at the CAP annual meeting, and I was working with one of my sponsors, Muse Microscopy, and they have a device for a direct to digital pathology imaging. But what I'm getting at is that they have both a veterinary pathologist and an MD pathologist on their product development team. And the veterinary pathologist was envious about when I was comparing them. The veterinary pathologist said, "Oh, I wish I only had to deal with one organ." And but on the other hand, he was happy that he didn't have to deal with the insurance. So a couple of different different angles of doing pathology. I don't know
Yeah.
if I lost you. Yes, no, you're here. You're here. Good. So, what was a surprise for you when you started working in a veterinary pathology laboratory?
Oh, man, what was the biggest surprise? I guess like I was surprised at how different some things were. Like, especially like making the slides, the tissues are very different in a lot of ways. Like sometimes it's harder to, cut certain samples because, you're cutting through very dense tissue, or, you're just working with different sample types than what you're used to with humans. I also really love working with veterinarians. Like veterinarians are so compassionate, and they make the job so much better. Like I'm always encouraged to learn and grow and find out different things about the field. Like everybody is fantastic. But yeah, definitely the tissue types and learning how to work with them was definitely challenging and something I wasn't exactly expecting.
Hmm. We have Linda here. She works with you.
Yes. Hi, Linda. Hi, Ephraim.
I'm gonna. What I am having trouble with, I see you frozen on my end. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove your image from the live stream and bring you back in. You don't have to do anything. Let's see if it solves. Okay, now I see you. I see
Perfect.
you back. Okay, good. So, um, okay, so veterinary pathology, human pathology, differences, and all that stuff. But uh, let's talk more in detail about how you capture the images. So you photograph basically what you're working with, the animal tissues that you're working with. But how do you take those pictures? They're beautiful. They're amazing.
I have been taking pictures with my phone the entire time that I've had my Instagram account. It's all just been on my phone. I currently have an iPhone 13. It's
Hmm.
pretty rudimentary. I just kind of hold it up to the lens and wait until it focuses properly. And that's really the only way that I've done it the entire time I've had my account.
Oh, really? This
Yeah.
is amazing. So on one hand, um, it's amazing because you don't need any fancy tech. You can basically take your smartphone, take pictures. Me personally, I don't have the patience to make it focus, so I do have a little attachment, but you don't have to, right? And the second thing that I think is really amazing, when I announced this live stream that we're going to be talking about it, oh no, you're frozen again. I'm going to remove and add to stage. Now you're unfrozen. I don't know. But I will ask whoever is live, is anybody frozen? Can you let us know if Kate or I are frozen? And if you can hear it, because even if we're frozen, if you can hear us, that's okay. But going back to what I was saying, okay, first, you don't need a fancy equipment. Second, I think often people say like, oh no, taking pictures with your phone through the microscope is not digital pathology. This is just, doing stuff for fun. Okay, and Jason, thank you so much for confirming that everything looks great. But when I announced this live stream to my list of digital pathology trailblazers who are subscribed to my email newsletter, I have gotten at least 3 emails back from pathologists in different countries. I don't think it was from the US. I know it was one person from India, from different places saying, hey, we use it for rapid on-site evaluation, for evaluation of endoscopic ultrasound guided endotracheal, not biopsies. I don't know the exact name, but basically they are using their phones for remote consultation with their pathologists who are on staff. So it's not just for fun, although Instagram, being a very visual platform, lends itself very well to showcasing your work, but it is really digital pathology and can be applied not only for education like you're doing, but also for practicing pathology, both in veterinary and human pathology. You have gathered an audience of over 50,000 people on Instagram interested in pathology, in veterinary pathology, in histology, and those beautiful images that you take. Do you know who they are? Do you know why they're following you?
No,
Did
I
you
mean,
get?
I
Mhm.
I have I think a lot of people are, doctors and techs and things like that, but I really like to think that some people following me are also just interested in the art of it, or maybe they love science and they don't really know what histology is. I mean, my goal with the account is to spread the word of histology and get people interested in it that may know nothing about it. So I really hope that I'm able to reach multiple audiences, although I do think a majority of them are pathologists or techs or vet students, things like that. But I hope
Mhm.
it's much wider than that.
So do you think they already know what they're looking at, or like how many of them already know what they're looking at, and how many are learning, and how many are following you on this journey? Or like, if I mean, I'm not really interested in exact numbers, but do you think you have both? We already know you have those who know, because you have pathologists, you have histotechs, you have histologists. Do you think you have people who like are brand new and were inspired to maybe follow this path, this professional path?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've reached people who are interested and want to maybe go down the road of veterinary pathology. Um, Maybe if they have like the knowledge of histology,
Hmm.
then maybe they're learning something more. Because I do try to have like informative captions that
Hmm.
explain what you're looking at, so that hopefully, even if you don't have a background in pathology, histology, or really even science, then you can still kind of understand what you're looking at. So I want everybody to be included in the discussions, from doctors to people who have no idea what they're looking at and want to find out because they think it's a pretty picture, you know?
Hmm. And pretty they are, that's for sure. I also noticed you have your website where you can, where you have several blog articles about different things that are covered in a smaller format on your Instagram.
Yes, absolutely. I've been able to take a little bit of a deeper dive into the history of my account, my education, my experiences in the lab. And I would like to continue doing that and showcasing what it's like to give people a very realistic look of histology and what it's like and how you can get into the field if it's something you're interested in as well.
Hmm. And I know you have won some awards and you've worked with some brands because of your account. Can you share a little bit more about that? I also know there was one instance when somebody submitted your pictures as theirs for some competitions. So
Yes.
obviously, like, not a pleasant thing in the online world, but a kind of like bad way of recognizing somebody. Your pictures are good enough to steal. Let's not do that. But let's talk about it. Like, what was it? What competition was it? And I remember you could easily show that it was your picture.
Yeah, so that was actually, I'm wearing the hoodie from that contest, actually,
Hmm.
the National Society for Histotechnology. Every year they do a Art of the Stain, and society members can vote on their favorite picture. I won that contest last year and this year as well. But that was the one that thank you. That was the one that someone had submitted one of my pictures from. Uh, it seemed like they just took a screenshot, maybe from
Hmm.
Instagram, and submitted it. It was the picture I have of tiger skin specifically.
Hmm. Let's
Uh,
find it. Let me share your Instagram again.
yeah, it was from a little while ago. Um, but yeah, I participate in just about every microscopy contest that I can find.
Uh-huh.
Um, I'm not always
Let me know
submitted.
if you see it. Do you see it? Do you see what I'm sharing or
Um,
not really? No. Tiger skin. Hmm.
I
I
think
don't
it.
think we're gonna find it
Had,
right now.
uh,
Go ahead.
I think it would have a hair follicle on it. Um,
Ah, okay.
oh, that one right there in the middle. That one.
Ha. See?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay. And somebody basically stole it and they submitted as their own.
Yes.
And you were a participant of this contest as well. So
Yes.
you saw that they submitted it.
I did.
Yeah.
I tried contacting the organization about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it can be tough to prove like where these images came from and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll
Yeah.
take it as a compliment.
I would think so too. And I've seen situations like that, specifically with images that that are visually so attractive, also on LinkedIn and on several social media platforms. Basically, people take it and repost in a way that doesn't give the full credit to the author, which obviously is not ideal. Um, I need to periodically remove you and bring you back because you freeze on me. But I think you're back. Okay,
Okay.
but did this account, so you say 2018, that has been already 6 years of doing this, which is in the online world, it's a long time.
Yeah.
So did you get any cool networking opportunities because of this? Oh, you know what, how I learned that you worked with a brand, with
How?
Olympus. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes. So I actually met them at the conference. Uh, at a neurobiology conference or neuroscience conference, and obviously I talked to different brands as well because of my online presence, and they told me, yes, we're collaborating with Kate, do you know her? And I said, I know her beautiful account, and I think it's a great idea to collaborate with her because you can reach a great audience with her. But other than that, did you have any good networking opportunities, anything interesting because of that account?
Yeah, I mean, Olympus is where it all started for me. My following really grew when they reposted some of my content. And then from there, we did collaborations. But beyond just Olympus, I've connected with a lot of artists. There's so many people out there who are taking these images and then painting them, or, using any other form of media to recreate them. Those are my favorite people to collaborate with, the artists, because in my opinion, they have the true talent. I mean, all I do is hold up my phone to the lens and take a picture, but then there's people that sit there and dedicate hours to, acrylic paintings, watercolor paintings, things like that. I really, really love those types of collaborations.
Mhm. And some of those people are actually pathologists who are pathologist artists. Um, One person I met at CAP is Meredith Herman. She
Yeah.
does that as well. She's a pathologist, MD pathologist, and she paints. I think she paints different things, but watercolor is what she mostly shares on social media. And I think for the new pathologists or like the younger generation, social media has become an avenue for teaching, spreading the word about the profession in an unusual way. I'm gonna remove and invite you back. Okay, you're back. Um, I see I see people saying that on LinkedIn we don't have the best streaming quality. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna later work on this recording and edit it a little bit. So if at any point any of my digital pathology trailblazers decided this is too jumpy, then you can go back to the recording and watch it in a slightly better quality. But going back to this thought, like Meredith, are you on TikTok as well?
No, I'm not on TikTok yet, but I think that might be a good place to showcase even more of what I do.
Definitely. I'm even on TikTok. Can you imagine? But
I heard
I
it's
see.
banned in the
Mhm.
US though, so then that would create a problem.
It's not banned yet. I mean,
Not
if mhm, not yet. It might be. How I see the different platforms. Obviously, my main focus is on LinkedIn, and because of most people who resonate with the things I teach hang out there. But I see it as a way to broaden your reach, and a way to show it to more people. Different people are going to be hanging out on TikTok than on LinkedIn. But if you want to reach both, especially if you want to inspire, um, well, you not necessarily consciously do it, but by showing what you do through images, through collaboration, through like this live stream that we're doing, somebody might just get interested and decide to do it. They might be early career watching this on Instagram. They might be even end of high school deciding what to do next on TikTok, or they might be thinking of switching careers and watching these things on LinkedIn. And basically different platforms speak to different people, and if we want to speak to many people, then we use different platforms. So I highly recommend you get on TikTok as well. And I have
great.
questions where the recordings are going to be available. They will be available everywhere where we're streaming. So there's going to be one on LinkedIn, on Instagram. I think we can make it not disappear. YouTube, and whoever is on my mailing list is going to get a link to the recording on YouTube. So don't worry if there is any part of this live stream that you missed. I will send you a recording. Okay, let's okay. So you use your phone, but do you have some criteria for taking those pictures? They're beautiful. Like, how do you pick the most beautiful parts? Do you have any, did you develop like a screening process in your mind, or is it just, oh, this part is beautiful when you are evaluating them, I want to take a picture? How does that work?
Yeah, it's usually right in the moment like that. It's usually, when I'm done with the special stains for the day and I have them all laid out in front of me. Uh, I always seem to gravitate towards the kidneys. The kidneys are my favorite tissue type specifically, so I'm always taking pictures of those. But
Mm-hmm.
I really try to go with the ones that are just the most visually appealing because, Instagram is such a visual app.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever I think is going to grab people's attention the most, or maybe if it's a particularly interesting animal or case or what have you.
Mm-hmm. So when you look at the image under the microscope and you take a picture on your phone, do you see any significant differences? And let me tell you why I'm asking this question. Because the biggest pushback when I talk about, oh, taking digital pictures with your phone is digital pathology. You can share it. You can consult on it. The pushback I get is, oh, the cameras and the software in the phone are actually optimized for pretty pictures. This is not for diagnostics. This is not for science. This is not for consultations. For you, when you look under the microscope and on your pictures, um, do you work with the image on your phone a lot, or are they pretty similar to what you see under the microscope?
I think they're pretty similar. I mean, I can't speak from a diagnostic standpoint, so I can't say whether or not I think my images are that kind of quality that a
Hmm.
doctor could read them and then give a diagnosis. Um, but they are pretty close to what I am seeing when I look through the microscope. The most editing I really do is kind of trying to like tone down like making it darker around the circle of
Hmm.
the lens, like making that black background contrast a little bit more. But
Hmm.
for the most part, what you see on my Instagram is exactly what I'm seeing through the lens.
Hmm. So for veterinary pathology, I know for a fact that there is an application to use smartphone taken images for diagnostic purposes, and I don't know if you follow her. Her name is Kate as well. Mm, Kate. Now I have to find her because I forgot her name. But Clean Path Kate,
Oh,
uh, and Kate Baker. She was a guest on my podcast twice, actually, and she developed an app. I don't know if it's still called Pocket Pathologist, but basically for veterinarians to take images from the microscopes that they have in their clinics, in their practices, and share it with the board-certified pathologists to get input for diagnosis. So that's another proof that these images are good enough. And also at the beginning of the stream, you said, oh, this tiger picture, it has a hair follicle. And I immediately found one with a hair follicle, right? It's um, it's not particularly like a difficult structure to find, but you recognize everything in those pictures. And so I wouldn't poo-poo this way of doing digital pathology.
yeah.
Um,
Our phone cameras are getting better and better with every generation. I mean, people have completely replaced a regular camera with their phone camera
mm,
to take pictures of their family or things like that. So why not microscopy? I mean, it
I
may
think
not
so
be as
too.
good as, a big slide scanner that takes hours to take one single picture, but it's still useful to a certain extent, I would like to think.
Mhm. I agree. So I think also with the development of whole slide imaging and the scanners, the diagnostic application was based on those zoomables scans of whole slides. And the static images, so like the snapshots of diagnostic places, were kind of put on the back burner. And I see it when I read digital pathology literature. I see the re-emergence of static images, specifically in developing countries, where they
Mhm.
do not have the resources to get whole slide scanners. And also, a new trend that I'm seeing is there has been a huge development of different AI applications on the whole slide images. And now those models that were trained on the big images, on the zoomable images, can now be applied to static images as well. So we're mixing, matching and mixing again, which I love, because that gives more people access to digital pathology.
Yeah, exactly. And digital pathology is accessible to everybody if you have a phone. You don't need to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy a slide scanner.
Hmm. You don't. There are, different tiers of digital pathology, but I love um, just this thing that is so simple that helps people get used to the digital version of a microscopic slide. In the pathology community, there is still a little bit of apprehension. Oh, is the digital as good as glass? What are the limitations? To me, showing this in a digital form, the beauty from what's under the microscope contributes to um, bigger adoption. And people
Mhm.
who are just grew up with Instagram, with all those visual platforms, they're used to it. And the transition to going digital is not going to be difficult for them. Caitlin, what's the plan for Histo Queen of Hearts? Do you have you're just going to keep doing it? Do you have any plans to do something more on the website? I have seen you had an Etsy shop with postcards. I don't know if you have anything else there. Let me know what you're planning for the future.
I did have an Etsy shop at one point.
Hmm.
I was working and going to school at the time when I opened it, and I was late on a couple of orders. I felt really bad about it, so I decided to put that to the side for a little bit.
Hmm.
But I would like to continue building the brand of Histo Queen of Hearts. I'd like to continue doing more on my website, eventually start a YouTube channel where I could do my own interviews like this and talk to more people and more professionals. I would also like to get into selling merchandise as well with some of
Hmm.
my on it. I have to look into how to manufacture things like that. I kind of didn't plan on being here. I didn't plan on having 50,000 people that wanted to see my pictures. So now I'm kind of trying to figure out where to go and what to do with it, but I know I want to do a lot more. I want to spend my whole life talking about histology in this field and talk to as many people as I can. So I'm going to figure out so many ways to do it, but I think the next steps for sure are on the website and on YouTube.
Hmm. Amazing. If there's anything I can help with to spread the word about what you're doing, let me know. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been fantastic.
We were supposed to meet actually this weekend at Pathology Visions, but the travel plans got more complicated and we're not going to be seeing each other in person. I was hoping to take a selfie together and post it all over stories, Instagram, and social media, but it will have to wait
No.
for the next conference.
Yes, and for everybody interested in digital pathology, like make sure
People
you're
are asking if you're gonna be. Cecilia is asking if you're gonna be attending Pathology Visions.
uh,
No, I just
I
asked
wish
and
I was.
she's
I
not
really, really
coming.
wish I was. I mean, I love the Digital Pathology Association. I think what they're doing is awesome. I've heard great things about their events, so I really, really want to make it definitely to next year. I won't be there this year, but I plan on going to many more conferences, not just digital pathology. I always go to the National Society for Histology's convention. I want to go to all of them. I want to meet everybody. I want to talk to everybody. Like
This is amazing. I'm going to be at Path Vision, so feel free to look at all the stories that I'm going to be posting. And next year, I hope to see you there. I wish you a fantastic rest of your day.
Thank you so much. I love this. This was great.
Bye.
Bye.